This morning, political uncertainty in Washington, escalating tensions with North Korea, and Hurricane Irma, all weighing on investors. Joining us right now is S&P Global Market Intelligence Principal Analyst, Richard Peterson. Rich, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Great to be here.
Characterize the markets for us with all of these headwinds coming at you.
Wow, it's neither breaking out or breaking down. We're sort of in a tight band right now. I think in terms of the S&P, we're really more looking at the yield curve. You know, back at the start of August, the 10-year yield was about 225, ended the month at about 212. Now we're approaching almost having a one handle. So there's some mixed signals there about the strength of the economy going forward.
And we don't know the strength of these hurricanes and how that's going to impact. Kevin Kelly makes an amazing point during the break, and that is about Texas and Florida.
Yeah, but there's giant major infrastructure there, and it could certainly impact this economy. We just got a 3% GDP print. We also just saw the earnings recession, and earnings are finally growing. Companies are doing well. Business travels
and now this.
Yeah, and now we have this, and we've seen when there's been storms, not as severe, impact one-time charges, especially in the winter. What do you think? How has past storms impacted the earnings, and what do you think that's going to do for guidance going forward?
But before you answer, I think the key point that you're making is we're talking about two major parts of the U.S. economy, Texas and Florida.
Yes, some of the largest parts of our economy are right there. And infrastructure, think about the Gulf of Mexico and all the energy that goes in there. We just started exporting 1 million barrels of oil a day overseas.
Does this pull it back?
Yeah, we've seen some states have gasoline prices spike 25, 30 cents per gallon. So it may be a hit not only on Texas and Florida, but nationwide in terms of consumers paying more for gasoline. From an investment standpoint, if you look what happened post-Katrina back in 2005, in the one-year period after Katrina, the S&P 500 Property and Casualty Insurance Index gained about 7%. So there was a little bit of a bump there. My concern is to the degree, as you said about infrastructure, how severely damaged it is. We saw a spike in claims, which
yesterday
jobs came.
We don't know that. We're not going to get that info for a week or so, at least, right? In terms of the real damage.
That's correct. But again, it may be a boom to in terms of recovery, because there will be a recovery. So there'll be demand for plywood, there'll be demand for materials, there'll be demand for lumber going forward, and more importantly, a demand for labor.
Yeah, you've seen Home Depot do exceptionally well, but yesterday the ECB came out, and we're seeing the euro at 2-year highs, and we've seen the dollar come down, and that's really helped the S&P 500. So what is your thoughts on that going forward? Because we've seen it's been a big tailwind, but could that hurt us going forward if the dollar gets stronger?
Well, again, we saw the dollar being weak. We're down about 7 or 8% in terms of the dollar index this year. Yields being soft, have affecting regional banks. Regional bank stocks have been under pressure because they really thrive where the curve is more steeper. I think the issue really is the
euro's up big this year.
Yeah. Well, conversely, if you look at the deal activity, there's been such a slow amount of foreign buying in the U.S.
Partly because of currency?
In part, I think. A year ago, about 30% of the dollar value of U.S. M&A came from foreign buying. Now it's about 18%. So we're seeing the slowest level of foreign buying in the U.S. since 2013.
I was starting to get some guidance in terms of the third quarter. We had a good first quarter. We had a good second quarter in terms of corporate earnings. What do you expect for the third quarter? The
S&P Capital IQ consensus now is about 6.7%. On a percentage basis, energy is going to be the big gainer, over 100%. But that's again coming from a lower base. If you look at the big other areas, it's going to be information technology, over 10%, financials and materials.
Energy and information technology.
I see a theme there. Yeah, and information technology, for everyone to know, those are the largest companies. You look at the top 5 market cap. It's Apple,
Facebook.
It's Microsoft, it's Google, Alphabet, Facebook. You think about that, and it's over 25. It's around 25% of the market cap of the entire market.
But then conversely, if you look at the Russell 2000, many of those stocks are under pressure, the small caps.
Yeah.
In terms of the rest of the year, that 3% GDP that Kevin mentioned, you think that's sustainable? I think there were expectations that we would see some 3% quarters, but that it wouldn't be an overall, consistency. I wonder what you thought.
Yeah, I think, one thing, you look at auto sales. Auto sales were running at a higher rate a year ago, on over almost a 14 million sale rate earlier this year. Now we're about 12.5. I think, you may see a bump up in auto sales maybe in the fourth quarter to replace the damage that the hurricane
That's typical.
inflicted.
14 million vehicles versus 12 million vehicles.
But then there's also concern that some of the lenders now, in terms of auto sales, are being more lax in their financing standards, that they could fear that subprime may be coming into no prime.
And incentives. They're giving a lot of incentives out there.
We haven't talked about the policy coming out of Washington and whether or not that impacts things, but I guess the near-term issue is these hurricanes.
Yeah, I think we're on another topic. Take into consideration in terms about the insurers, the Texas state had passed a law that became effective September 1, limited the consumer lawsuits against insurance company for claims related to natural disasters.
All right, Rich, great info from you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.